Hello and welcome. I'm Kevin Roberts and I'm from 3 on 3 Live and I'm joined by Coach Jared Dent, aka Coach J from Score Hoops 3 on 3. And you are listening to the very first episode of a brand new podcast called 3 on 3 Hoops Pod. We are here to talk some hoops, specifically 3 on 3 basketball and all of its benefits. And we're just two coaches, man, that we're excited to share our thoughts and insights to all of the land, to all of the world on a sport that we both love and are passionate about, 3 on 3 basketball. Coach, here we are. We're doing it. How are you doing
We're
today?
doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it, man. Hey, thanks for connecting with me first and foremost, Kev. Just like you mentioned, we're just two guys that love hoops. We just so happen to be in the lane of 3 on 3 basketball, for its myriad of benefits and reasons. And yeah, man, I'm excited to get this 3 on 3 hoops pod started off, man, to educate and entertain all those young hoopers out there that want to get their games better in basketball.
For sure, for sure. Well, this is episode 1, and I think it's appropriate that
Uno.
we answer everyone's first question. What is this podcast? Why are we doing it? Who is this podcast for? And the purpose of this podcast is to promote um, and bring awareness to 3 on 3 basketball and all of its benefits, like you said. Um, this podcast is for any parents of young basketball players, any young basketball players, coaches, fans of FIBA 3x3, fans of Big Three, and just basketball fans in general. We're both huge basketball fans, fans of the sport, even though one of us roots for the wrong team. But I won't hold that against you, Coach. but
You
we're
root for a few of the wrong teams on my end, but hey, man, like
uh,
you said, we're gonna sweep that right under the rug. Go
um,
Braves. We play today at 105. Don't forget that.
105. Oh, I forgot. You're
Well,
great.
no, 105 your time. Well, no. Yeah, 105 my time. You're right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're in the
105
West
here.
Coast. That's
So
correct.
it'll be 405 there. So yeah.
But anyway, so we're both coaches and huge fans of 3 on 3 basketball and fans of all the benefits of playing 3 basketball can provide. And we both run our own 3 on 3 basketball programs in our respective cities. Like Coach said, he's
Yep.
out in the West Coast in Arizona, and I'm here in Tampa, Florida, East Coast. And but Coach, let's start telling everyone about what you have going on all the way out there in Arizona.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like you mentioned, 3 on 3 basketball is the particular lane that we decided to jump in. My wife and I are co-founders of a 3 on 3 basketball program. It's called Score Hoops 3 on 3 basketball. It's called Score Hoops. Why? Because what's the purpose of basketball? You want to put the ball in the hoop. So that's one of the reasons why I jumped into the 3 on 3 lane. As I mentioned, off air with you, Kev, my ideal lineup is to have five guards on the floor. Always in attack mode. If we need you to do isolation, you'll be equipped with those skills. Going through an extensive 3 on 3 basketball program such as ours. And then with our program, Score Hoops 3 on 3, there's many layers that we provide. Our main offering is 3 on 3 basketball leagues. That's our main offering. We have one coming up here shortly this spring. Our secondary option is tournaments. We have one-off 3 on 3 basketball tournaments throughout the year. We have partnered with legacy traditional schools here in Arizona, which is a charter school system. My goal is to partner with a handful of them, at least 5 to 10. However, right now we partnered with two of them, Legacy in Levine, also Legacy in Gilbert. We just started with them, and that's just an after-school, alternative for parents to put their children into to introduce them to the game of basketball. Help them with the fundamentals, and develop their skills, no matter what their skill level is. And then lastly, we do also offer, skills clinics, these one-off training sessions where we work on the basics of footwork, speed, agility, shooting, passing, rebounding. We do some team concept stuff. So there's different layers that we offer, and there's an offering for any youth basketball player. And when I say youth, I don't want to exclude high school because they need this tool as well. But with our
Well,
offerings,
they're young
no matter
too.
where you, yeah. They're young. They're young. They're kids. They might not think that they're kids. They may not be considered youth, right?
Yeah,
But wherever you are in your development for the game of basketball, I feel like we have an offering for that. So, that's the reason for kicking off this Score Hoops 303 basketball, which in fact is a 501c3 nonprofit organization as well. So if you ever feel like you want to donate to the program for support, you can do so, and it could be a tax write-off for you.
this will be a part of the podcast where I put a link on the bottom there for our listeners to click and donate. That's a great thing, Coach.
That
Is
works.
there anything in particular that inspired you to start specifically 3-on-3, or you want to talk about that a little bit?
Um, you know, I originally started, my venture into entrepreneurship, uh, 2014 as a sports coach, like a private sports coach, personal trainer. Um, you know, I train football players, basketball players, soccer, and this is just pretty much basic strength and conditioning programs, speed and agility programs. This was just to build a foundation. I already knew that this wasn't going to be like a destination thing for me. It was just part of my journey. Eventually I knew I wanted to scale to something a little bit bigger. And then before I decided to move out to Arizona, actually, um, I saw on Facebook an advertisement for how to build your own 3-on-3 basketball program. And from that point, I got that, on the cartoon where the light bulb, you had that light
Light
bulb
bulb.
moment over. I was like, okay, that's how I'm gonna scale, right? That's how I'm gonna scale from, just being a personal trainer, doing these, personal training sessions. And I was coaching football and all that stuff also. But after a while, I did it for like 7 years. Obviously, after a while, well, I'm not gonna say obviously, but I wanted to kind of transition to something a little different. The 3-on-3 basketball thing popped up, so I decided to pursue that. And then when I moved out to Arizona, we just kind of went full steam ahead. My wife and I, like I mentioned to you offline before, when I moved here, I didn't know anybody at all from besides her. So our program, Score Hoops 3-on-3 basketball, has truly, truly, truly been grown from the grassroots.
That's cool, man. That's a great
Yeah.
story. What you said you're a coach also. What age group do you currently coach?
Yeah, so I coach basketball, the traditional 5-on-5
Mm,
version, at Heritage Academy here in Levine. I'm the head coach of the junior high level, as well as the frost off. So I'm also the assistant on varsity, or one of the assistants on
nice.
varsity. However,
Assistant coaches,
from
by the
six,
way, assistant coaches, by the way, are the best coaches to me.
hey man, you know what? Just to go off on that tangent, I learned so much more about basketball being the assistant. Because as the head coach, I feel like I'm there's things that you miss during the game because you have to kind of be able to go from being able to see the game from a high level
Yep.
to being
Macro.
ground level to
Yep.
high level to ground level to high level to ground level. When you're an assistant coach, you kind of really stay kind of more on that ground level, so you're a little bit more focused on the game.
Yeah.
Like me, I focus more on the defensive end when I'm an assistant, but when you're like the head coach, at least in my philosophy or the way I look at it, I have to when we're on offense, I have to spend as much time diagnosing what's going on offense and defense. Versus
Hmm.
when I'm an assistant, I kind of spend a little bit more time diagnosing what's going on our defensive end.
And yet
Um,
you make a program called Score Hoops 3-on-3.
yeah. So that's funny too. That's funny too. So, and this goes back to when I played football, right? So in football, I was a defensive player, But when I started coaching football, I was an offensive coordinator and I was a running backs coach. I had played running back a little bit also,
Okay.
but as far as like the offensive coordinator side goes, I spent so much time studying what we had to do on defense that you start to look at what the offense is doing,
Mm-hmm.
and you like, you know what, I can draw some plays to beat this defense that we're running
Yeah.
actually. Or like, if they just did this,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
start seeing it in a weird way. So I don't know, you know, that is a weird thing about me. Like
Um.
I played the opposite, but I focus on the opposite.
No,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I've been an assistant coach also, and my favorite part of being an assistant is you just coach. You don't have to deal
yeah,
with parents. You don't have to deal with any of the outside noise or whatever. And to
uh,
me, and I hate to say this, but parents do mess up the experience a lot of times.
yeah.
Especially these days, but they can suck the life out of coaching a lot. But
I
the
have
only
I haven't run into a terrible parent yet. Obviously, I've run into some that had like little
give it
smart
time.
things to say, like, yeah, 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 no, 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 for sure, for sure. No, and this is over the years.
Yeah.
Um, like I
Parents
said,
parents are
I've
probably
had,
watching me right now, hating me right now. I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah. I haven't had it like out with any parents, but
Yeah.
I have had parents come with these like little snide little remarks like,
Oh,
"Why is that kid playing more?" You
exactly. But
always
you
gonna
don't
get
you
that.
don't deal
Yeah,
with that being an assistant coach. You let the head coach deal with that. So like the assistant
yeah,
coach has the best seat on the bench. You just coach on your players. Love your players. And just enjoy the game. But
yeah.
just
You get a
some.
little bit of more individualized time with them too,
Oh,
like doing like little drills and
oh,
stuff
for
on the
sure.
side with them. That's what I like about the assistant role. Also, assistant role also is you can pull the guys off to the side and either like draw some stuff up and like, hey, that play or this particular defense is supposed to look like this. You can give them a little bit more of those one-on-one sidebars.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, so is there anything else you want to say about want to give your website out for Score Hoops?
Yeah, scorehoops3on3.com is our website. All our information is on there. We share a little bit of our story. You can read about our offerings. Um, we had an interview with ABC 15 out here in Arizona. So we won the Helping Kids Go Places Award out here in
Nice.
2023. So our interviews on there. Um, all of our social media handles are Score Hoops 3 on 3. So you can get us on there, Facebook as well as Instagram. And yeah, just keep an eye out on us and support.
That's nice, man. That's nice. So I run my own program here in
Yeah,
Tampa,
tell us a
Florida.
little bit about yours,
Yep,
man. I
yep.
don't want to.
It's
I don't want to.
oh no,
I
you're
don't want
good,
to seem
man.
like I'm hogging the mic, man. I'll
Oh
be
no, you're good.
quiet and take the co-pilot
No,
role now.
you be the
Tell
assistant
us
coach for
about.
now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more comfortable. I get more chances to sip my water. But yeah, yeah, Kev, go ahead and tell us about 3 on 3 Live down there in Tampa, man. Tell us a little bit about what was your give us your why. We hear that a lot.
Yeah,
Nowadays. Well,
yeah,
not even nowadays, but we've been hearing that forever.
for
Like,
sure.
when you do something, you want to have a why, right? That
Yeah,
helps you stay motivated. That helps you see the thing through. So, share with me and our audience,
yeah,
obviously, a little bit of your why you started the 3 on 3 Live down there in Tampa.
yeah.
Go
So
Bucks.
when I'm not a Bucks fan, but
I know.
just full disclosure, I'm all Philly, so we'll go there. But
I gotta throw any cheap shots that I
I
can at you, man. You get what I'm saying?
hear you, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. So anyway, I did start 3 on 3 live here in Tampa, Florida. Last year was our first year, and we ran 4 leagues throughout the year, and God willing, plan to run more and more each year into where this is a solely we're running leagues and tournaments all year round. So
That's a
the
steady
reason.
offering.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
the reason why I started, and like I said, well, as a player, we'll go back to when I was a player. I wasn't necessarily the star of any basketball team I was on. I was always coming off the
Hmm.
bench. There are teams that I did play a lot as a role player, and there were teams that I didn't get any playing time, and but I still wanted to play more, and I never really felt like I got a fair shot in practices. Coach will play his favorites, and I get it. And I later became a coach, and I started to do the same thing. I favored players over the others, because I had to prepare for a game, and and I just couldn't find a way to include a lot of players. That was probably my fault, me and a young coach, and it's hard for me to find playing time for kids that I did want to play more, but I just couldn't find the time in practice or the game. So that's something that I've always kept in mind. And ironically, during COVID, I think you and I may have seen the same ad or how to run a 3-on-3 basketball league, and it's a
Possibly so.
similar light bulb popped above my head because I've
Mm.
I've I've considered running one before, but I never really thought it could be an actual league. I've always thought about running 3-on-3 tournaments. When I run my
And
tryouts,
I never thought about it at all, man.
yeah. So
Seriously.
when I ran my tryouts for my basketball team, so I coached elementary, middle school, and high school
Mm.
for 15 plus years, and towards the later part of my coaching career, I during my tryouts I would run a lot of 3-on-3 competition because to me that was the best way to see that player and see what skills they have.
All right.
They get the ball all the time. You can't hide in the corner and just shoot threes, or you cannot hide in 3-on-3. So I
No.
use that a lot in my practices. I went to a coaching clinic in Orlando, and I can't remember the coach that gave the demonstration, but it's gonna come to me after the podcast. I know. I put the drop the name down when I
Yeah,
remember
drop
the
the
coach.
name down, give him his props.
But he went over a it was called a 3-on-3. It was a 3-on-3 drill, but it was continuous 3-on-3, and they had
Yeah.
different rules. And basically you win points by defensive plays. But either way,
Yep.
I thought that was great, and I brought it back to I implemented it in my practices, and all my kids loved it, and that was the most uh our for my favorite part of practice. The kids were competitive. Everyone was touching the ball. We got so much done in it. I guess a light bulb just went off and it clicked. Like I can do so much with 3-on-3. So I did tailor a lot of my practices with 3-on-3 side games. I had like four different groups going on, like four different baskets, and it gave
Yeah.
me a better way to organize my practice. So moving forward, and now to kind of where I'm at now, and COVID hit, and I saw that, and I was like, why didn't I even think about this before? Like just run constant 3-on-3 leagues, and so I really started thinking about it. Now couldn't really do anything because of COVID, but the
Yeah.
idea was forming. And we ran it last year, and I got a good response, and I've I run this for kids in grades second through 12th grade, and
Okay.
we also run group skills training practices to go over fundamentals and 3-on-3 basketball skills, and we explain how that translates to 5-on-5, your 5-on-5 skills. So basically,
Yep.
we take advantage of the 3-on-3 format to give kids more playing time, more touches, more opportunity with the basketball in their hands, and defensive reps without them
Yeah.
realizing it because nobody thinks about defense. But and so,
They
but
should think about defense, especially you play for my team. Rebound and defend, or you're going to be sitting on the bench right
for
next to me.
score 3-on-3.
And you definitely got to score. You get what I'm saying? You got to
um,
score. But we got to stop them from
That
scoring more
I hear you,
important.
man. But we focus we really focus on the fun aspect of basketball because I do think that's lost a lot with kids in AAU, and then they go to their school club, and then they're with a personal trainer. No offense, but they're always being coached. To they always have that coaching over them. So
Yeah.
when I do think that when you and I used to play, we're around the same age, and we used to play outside and just play for fun. Kids kind of lose that, I think, in this day and age. So I like to focus on the fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's ironic that I've been a basketball coach for over 15 years, but I don't allow coaches in at 3-on-3 live during the league game days. Now we have coaches and
Yeah. We
trainers
call
that
ours more like managers.
yeah, okay. So we
Yeah.
have coaches and trainers that run our small group training practices, but for league game days, and now aside from our second graders, second and third graders will have some managers, but we do have the refs that kind of will help coach them during the game. But as far as like team
Yeah, for
coaches,
sure.
one on each side, we don't have that. And we we just want the kids to coach themselves, and just worry about having fun and not worry about making mistakes, and they don't worry about missing a shot, or they want to try a new cool Kyrie Irving move that they saw on TV.
That's the
You know,
yeah,
yeah,
that's the environment to do it. Yep, I
yep.
agree.
And
I agree.
so it's just I just want the kids to not be afraid to make mistakes and showcase their creativity and just have fun, and have my JBL speaker blasting with great music. Hopefully they can be a sponsor since I'm hyping them up. But I have like
So what type of music you bump, Kev, at
so
the at your games, man?
so
I want to know, man. I want to know. I
oh
gotta
no,
know.
so I like so I do a lot of old school. So you have to
Okay.
realize so you have to kind of realize who you want to bring into this league. The kids are
Yep.
just playing basketball. They just want some noise in the background. They're not really focusing on the song. I do try to cater them to throw on a lot of I don't want to age myself, but I know a lot of
You
young
wanna cater
music.
to the parents in the stands.
Exactly. So I'll always play some old school, hip hop, songs that we're used to hearing or whatever. And
Right, right,
so
right, right, right.
some Notorious B.I.G., Juicy, going on
Oh
there,
yeah, for sure.
and like
Some good Tupac.
yeah, so just a lot of songs that I got some video of some parents dancing in the stands, and it'll be fun for them,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you know
You want
and
them to have a good experience too, because they're the ones that's actually paying for the kids to come. So that's the thing too. Like you have like a dual target audience, right? Like
oh
you have
yeah,
the kids, obviously, because they're the one consuming the product, but the parents are the one paying for it. So you
yep,
gotta have that happy medium to be able to cater to both. So yeah, you're
yeah.
doing you got the right mindset on that.
Yeah, and I love also I love creating weekly highlights. Something I try to do specifically is try to create weekly highlights. With cool music. For the kids, just to try to make them feel special. Because everybody likes to watch highlights of themselves. So, these kids don't get playing time at their. Some of these kids don't get playing time, or they wouldn't even dream to have a highlight on Instagram. Of them playing hoops. So, I try to provide that just to get them excited. Build confidence and get them excited about themselves. And basically, in a nutshell, 3 on 3 Live was just created to give kids more playing time, more touches, and just have more fun.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
basically it.
That's good, man.
What I want to talk about besides our programs, I'll actually, why don't you tell everyone what else they can expect from this podcast?
You can expect a lot of talking from guys like myself and Kev. Hopefully we don't ramble too much. But no, in all seriousness, this is just another vehicle, another channel to become, educated and entertained, on, basketball in general, specifically 3-on-3 basketball. We plan on bringing some cool guests in here, so you can hear, perspectives from different types of people, different athletes, different coaches. One thing that I have noticed is 3-on-3 basketball is like a regional thing. So, guys on the East Coast will have different perspectives than like me on the West Coast, because on the East Coast is a little bit more
It's the
prevalent than
best
it is on
coast.
the West Coast.
East Coast is the better coast. I know.
All right, let me go ahead and I'll end this. We're gonna
We
wrap
got New
this
York
up.
City.
You know what I'm saying?
We got Miami.
Oh, my bad. Hey, oh, were you saying something?
Nah, I hear
Oh
you.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
LA got the palm trees
Oh,
and the
here.
beaches. We got good San
Yeah, I was
Diego.
distracted out
We
there.
got the Bay Area. And this is only in California. We haven't even left California yet. We'll go ahead and take Vegas because everybody moves from LA to Vegas. So, you
Don't we
know.
have like is Indiana part of the West? Is that East Coast? I'm horrible with
No, no,
geography.
no, 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 no. Indiana, that's Midwest. You can go ahead. They got their own little swag out there. You can't you
No, I'm
can't
just
you
saying
can't
that's like
steal
more
them.
like we got the originators of New York City. Then and that's what we're talking about. 3 on 3 was formed on the
The
streets, right?
the
So
Mecca
like,
of basketball. I'll give y'all
yeah.
props. I've never been to the East Coast, Kev. I need to make
Oh,
it out
really?
to the East
I gotta get you
Coast,
some
man.
Bucks tickets.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would love to. We actually want to come to Tampa, me and my wife, because she has family in the area. So
Awesome.
we
Well,
can actually talk about that
how?
offline. We can maybe
Yeah. How
coordinate something
about?
and link up somewhere.
So I hate to do this, but this is first podcast, but I have to mention this because this is something I'm excited about. Um, June 22nd here in Tampa. The Big Three will be here. So I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, I'm excited to go to that. Maybe I'll
Nice.
get us an interview with Ice Cube. You never
Yeah.
know. Gotta just
Yeah.
ask,
That
right?
that'll be great. Speaking of June 22nd, you brought that date up. Well, first and foremost, I got to put this out there. As my daughter Kendall's birthday. That's
Ah,
going to be her ninth birthday.
oh, okay.
However, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. We've been working with uh, a group from Rucker Park
Oh,
that does like activations, and we're actually in the stages of planning a 3-on-3 basketball tournament to be held at the Mecca of Basketball, Rucker Park.
whoa, that is
So I
awesome,
don't
man.
want to. Yeah, man, it's great. It's exciting.
Speak
I
it
don't
into
want to go too
existence, coach.
far. Exactly. I don't want to go too far on it right now. I want to make sure everything is solidified and ready to go. But when the time comes, you guys will hear a lot more about that also.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah, man.
uh, you watch any FIBA 3x3 basketball?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't, man. But I do know that Jimmer Fredette, the Jimmer, is uh
He's the
straight up
face.
assassin.
He's the
He's the
face of the
face of it.
U.S. men's team.
Now I do know that, but other than that,
Well,
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie and
have
say I
no
watch it.
fear. Have no
Yeah,
fear, because I've simply just fallen in love with 3x3 basketball, and yeah, that'll be one of our shows. We'll explain the difference between 3-on-3 and 3x3. But the Asia Cup's going on right now. I'm all here for it. I mean, I love 3x3 basketball. It's a big inspiration. From my logo with the X in the background. That's where that X came from. Is the inspiration that those rules and that style of play has on the game. So yeah, that's something we'll talk about. We got the big three coming here in June. So a lot of stuff happening 3-on-3. You got Caitlin Clark being offered $5 million to play in the big three. What do you think about that?
she's not gonna take it. She's not gonna
Ah,
take it.
I know she's not gonna take it, but $5 million,
She's not gonna take it.
5 million.
If Caitlin Clark takes $5 million
Ice
to
Cube.
pay the 3-on-3, they're gonna clothesline her on the first play of the season.
She's out there in the logo just shooting threes. I mean,
They're gonna clothesline. They're gonna low bridge her. Now they're gonna low bridge. Now we're talking about low
look,
bridge. They
I just
them old heads out there gonna have super contempt.
I just
Caitlyn,
love,
she should do a commercial. She should probably do a commercial for the big three.
yeah.
But as far as getting out on the floor, nah, she's just gonna go ahead and go to Indiana
Well,
Fever, and do her thing there.
I just love the news that the big three is getting. They're starting to talk about it a lot. Walk by in my job, I see ESPN on the TV, and they're talking about the big three because of this. So I just love the chatter. I love any promotion to get people to watch 3-on-3 basketball on TV is awesome to me. So all right,
Yes,
so
sir.
anything else you got going on? I mean, you mentioned
That's it.
what's going on. That's big news. So I
That's it.
forgot to prepare you. I don't know if I'm catching you off guard. When we were talking earlier, I would like to end. Maybe you have. I did see that you like to read a lot, so maybe you'll have one. But before we head out, I think it'd be a great idea after each show that we get a quote from Coach Jay, and
Got you.
you can come up with we can come up with a production for this, some music or whatever, or how you want to do this. But
Got you.
and you can credit it or not, or steal it as your own.
Maybe I
What's
can get a sponsor.
what's what's this week's quote? What's Coach Jay's quote for the week?
Always play the game like it's 0-0. Always play the game like it's 0-0. I had to
It's a quote.
tell my guys that
Not
on
not not an explanation, just a quote.
you know what I'm saying? Oh well, that's the quote. That's the quote. That's the quote right
Keep it
there.
short.
Always play the game like it's 0-0.
All right, I love that. Love that. All right, so we'll end it there. I'm horrible at ending things, so we'll cut it off and see y'all next time.
Peace.